Stop what you're doing, just for a moment, because what I'm about to share with you could change the way every single morning feels for the rest of your life. Not by adding something new, not by downloading another routine, not by forcing yourself to wake up earlier. Drink a green smoothie, or journal for 20 minutes before the sun comes up. The opposite. Today, you're going to learn how to remove something invisible, something heavy, something you've been carrying into every morning without even realizing it. Here's what most people never understand. We live in a world obsessed with adding. Add more goals, add more habits, add more effort, push a little harder, do a little more, and somehow, one day you'll finally earn the right to feel at peace. But thousands of years ago, the ancient Taoists looked at this problem and came to a conclusion that would shock most modern self-help gurus. They said the problem is not that you're missing something. The problem is that you're doing too much, trying to control things that haven't happened yet, forcing clarity when your mind is still foggy, pushing forward without ever listening to the natural rhythm of the moment. The Tao, that quiet, invisible force that holds all of nature together, doesn't move through effort. It moves through alignment. And here's the proof. Nothing in the natural world starts its day in a rush. The sun doesn't strain to rise. The river doesn't muscle its way through the valley. The morning doesn't apologize for arriving slowly. Everything simply begins when it's time. And maybe, just maybe, that's the lesson we've been ignoring. The simplest and the hardest lesson at the same time. What if you could start your day without trying so hard? Not from laziness, not from giving up, but from a kind of stillness that lets you see everything more clearly. I'm going to walk you through 7 teachings today. 7 ancient Tao principles for starting your morning in a state of genuine calm. And I need to warn you, the third one is going to challenge something you believe about yourself. The 5th one will probably make you uncomfortable. And the 7th one might quietly change the way you see your entire life. But we'll get there. Let's start with the first. Teaching number 1. Do not invade the moment you wake up. This is the foundation. Before any philosophy, before any technique, before anything else, this comes first. Every single morning, there's a tiny window of time, just a few seconds, where your mind hasn't taken over yet. A clean space, quiet, no story attached to it, no identity, no problems, just awareness floating in silence. And what do most of us do with that sacred little window? We shatter it. We reach for the phone. We dive into notifications. We start remembering yesterday's problems. We begin rehearsing today's battles. And in less than 10 seconds, the only peaceful moment of the entire day is gone. The first habit is absurdly simple. Guard that window. Don't fill it with anything. Don't improve it. Don't fix yourself. Don't plan. Just don't touch it. The ancient Taoists noticed something that modern neuroscience is only now beginning to confirm. The way you begin shapes the direction of everything that follows. If the day starts from noise, every hour becomes a reaction. If it starts from stillness, clarity shows up on its own, without you chasing it. This isn't a meditation technique. It's not a breathing exercise. It's a decision. Stay in bed for a few extra seconds. Feel the weight of your body against the mattress. Notice the air coming in and going out. Nothing to push, nothing to solve. It seems small, almost too small to matter, but it changes something deep because it reminds you of a truth you keep forgetting. Peace is not something you build later in the day. It's something you protect from the very first second. And when the day begins unforced, when it isn't attacked or rushed, Everything that follows finds its own natural pace. But here's the thing, even if you protect that quiet moment, there's a second trap waiting for you, and almost everyone falls into it. Teaching number 2, do not decide too soon. The modern mind believes that waking up means it's time to start making choices. What should I tackle first? What do I prioritize? What needs fixing? What am I behind on? But the Tao sees it differently. When you decide too quickly, you decide from momentum, not from insight. You react out of yesterday's habits instead of responding to what today actually needs from you. So this second principle is about delaying your mental machinery, not avoiding responsibility, not being lazy, just giving the day enough space to reveal itself before you try to steer it. There's a massive difference between responding and reacting. Reacting means deciding from your inner noise. Responding means letting the situation speak first and then choosing from a place of actual understanding. In the early morning, your mind is still soft, open, less armored by the character you perform all day. If you immediately flood that openness with to-do lists, plans, and worries, you lose a quality that you cannot manufacture later. The practice is straightforward. Don't organize your day the moment your eyes open. Don't structure it mentally before you've physically lived even 5 minutes of it. Move. Get ready. Begin what needs beginning, but without narrating it all inside your head. Think of water moving through a landscape it hasn't seen before. It doesn't know the exact shape of the path ahead, but it trusts that the path will appear. And it always does. When you delay the urgency to decide, something interesting happens. Your perception sharpens. Priorities arrange themselves without force. The important things rise to the surface without you having to dig for them. This doesn't make you passive. It makes you precise. Because when action comes from stillness instead of anxiety, it takes less energy and leaves less damage behind. The Tao doesn't act late. It acts at the exact right moment, and this habit teaches you to begin every morning from that same timing. Now the next teaching, the third one, this is the one I told you would challenge you, because it goes after something you probably do every single day without even noticing. Teaching number 3, do not force yourself to feel something different. There's a silent pressure that lands on your chest almost the instant you open your eyes. You should feel more energized. You should be more motivated. Today should feel different than yesterday. But the Tao doesn't begin from should. It begins from what is already here. This teaching is about stopping the habit of correcting your inner state every morning. If there's energy, you notice it. If there's tiredness, you notice that, too. If clarity is there, you welcome it. If confusion shows up, you let it sit. Forcing a different mood is a subtle form of violence against yourself, and all inner violence, even the quiet kind, even the kind wrapped in motivational quotes, creates friction that drags through the rest of your day. When you try to change how you feel before you've even listened to how you feel, you do something dangerous. You separate from yourself. You split into two people, the one who is and the one who thinks he should be. The Tao teaches something radical in its simplicity. What is not resisted transforms on its own. This habit doesn't ask you to give up. It asks you to be honest. To start the day with a quiet internal acknowledgement. This is what's here right now. No judgment layered on top. No cheerful slogans used as armor. No trying to fix it before you've even felt it. Like a sky that doesn't try to push its clouds away. It just holds space, and the clouds pass through. Here's what's fascinating. When you stop forcing a state, the state shifts more easily. calm doesn't arrive because you hunted it down. It arrives because you stopped wrestling with whatever you were feeling. This habit loosens a tension most people carry for years without realizing it. The tension of needing to be a better version of yourself before you've even gotten out of bed. And once that tension dissolves, the entire day becomes lighter. But there's still a fourth pattern that hijacks most mornings, and it's one of the sneakiest ones because it disguises itself as productivity. Teaching number 4. Do not rush your inner rhythm. Long before the day begins outside your door, you're already sprinting inside your mind, listing things, rehearsing conversations, solving problems that don't exist yet, running through worst-case scenarios you'll probably never face. But the Tao doesn't operate in fast forward. It moves at the speed of what is actually happening right now. This teaching is about refusing to turn the beginning of your day into a race. Don't accelerate your breathing. Don't whip your thoughts into a frenzy. Don't demand instant clarity from a mind that just returned from sleep. Water doesn't flow faster because someone yells at it. It flows when there's a slope. It rests when the ground is flat. It doesn't need permission. When you push your inner tempo too hard, you lose something precious: sensitivity. And when sensitivity goes, you start making small errors that pile up through the day. Errors you'll later blame on stress. But it was never stress. It was speed. Starting the day in calm isn't about doing less. It's about not doing things before their time. You can practice this in the smallest possible way. Your very first movement when you wake up. Rise without rushing. Walk without hurry. Breathe without correcting yourself. Not as a technique, as an attitude. The Tao teaches that whatever moves too fast breaks apart. Whatever finds its natural speed sustains itself. When you begin the day without accelerating your insides, everything organizes itself with a kind of intelligence you can't plan. Not because you're controlling more, but because you're interfering less. This habit returns something essential to you: the feeling of being inside your day instead of chasing behind it. And from that place, calm stops being a goal. It becomes the ground beneath your feet. Now, teaching number 5. This is the one that might make you uncomfortable, because it asks you to let go of something almost everyone holds on to. Teaching number 5. Do not try to control how the day should feel. Most people wake up carrying a silent expectation. Today should feel good. Today, I should have motivation. Today, I should know what I'm doing. And when reality doesn't match the expectation, the inner war begins. The Tao doesn't demand emotional conditions. It doesn't require enthusiasm. It doesn't ask for confidence. It doesn't insist on certainty. It only asks for honesty about what's actually present. Some mornings feel light. Some feel heavy. Some have no shape at all. And all of them belong to the same current. This teaching is about ending the habit of emotionally policing yourself first thing in the morning. Stop telling yourself you should feel different. Stop pushing yourself to switch states. Stop using inspirational phrases as a shield. Because when you try to force an internal state, you create a fracture. What you are against, what you think you should be. And that fracture? That's the real root of exhaustion. Not your schedule, not your workload. The gap between who you are right now and who you're pretending to be. The Tao observes something plain and undeniable. The sky doesn't apologize for being overcast. The river doesn't criticize itself for flowing slowly. So why do you? Starting the day in calm doesn't mean starting happy. It means starting without fighting what's already there. If clarity is present, walk with clarity. If confusion is present, walk with confusion. If exhaustion is present, walk with exhaustion. This habit hands you a very specific kind of peace, the peace of not having to perform before your day has even begun. Not emotionally, not mentally, not for anyone, including yourself. When you release the need to control how you should feel, your energy settles naturally. And often, the very calm you weren't chasing shows up unannounced. Not because you called it, because you finally stopped pushing it away. Teaching number 6. Do not fill everything immediately. Most people wake up, and the first thing they do is occupy the silence. Phone, social media, news, podcasts, anything to avoid sitting with the emptiness, not because they actually need the stimulation, but because the quiet feels uncomfortable. But the Tao recognized something essential about emptiness. Usefulness comes from the space, not the material. A cup is useful because of the hollow inside, not the clay around it. A room is useful because of the space between the walls, not the walls themselves. This habit is about not filling your morning before you've experienced it, not cramming every minute, not answering everything instantly, not saturating your mind before it's had a chance to breathe. Leave a small pocket of time with no purpose attached. A moment without sound, a walk without a screen, a cup of coffee with nothing competing for your attention, not as discipline, as respect for the beginning of the day. When you fill everything too quickly, your mind doesn't breathe, your body tenses, and calm has nowhere to enter. The Tao doesn't rush to fill, it makes space first, and what's needed shows up after. This habit doesn't demand total silence. It asks you not to flood the opening, because what begins without any space at all ends up weighing you down. And a morning that starts with breathing room holds everything that comes after it far better. One more. The 7th and final teaching. And honestly, this might be the most important thing you hear all week. Teaching number 7. Do not demand that you arrive somewhere today. We live under a pressure that starts the moment our eyes open. Today, I have to make progress. Today, I have to solve something. Today, I have to be better than yesterday. Even when we don't say it out loud, that demand is already there, setting the tempo before we've even stood up. The Tao offers something radically different. Today is not a destination. It's a stretch of road. No one asks the river to reach the ocean before sundown. No one demands the tree grow faster because yesterday it barely moved. Every day is just one more expression of a much larger process. That's all. This teaching is about releasing the habit of treating each morning like an exam. It's not a test. It's not a verdict on your worth. It's not evidence for or against who you are. It's simply a day unfolding. When you wake up believing you must arrive somewhere by tonight, your body locks up with tension. Your mind races ahead. Calm vanishes. But when you release the idea of arriving, something unexpected appears. Presence. Walking without dragging the future behind you delivers you to the only place where life actually happens. This moment. This doesn't mean abandoning responsibility. It means refusing to turn your responsibilities into your identity. You do what needs doing. But without the background story of, if I don't get there, something is wrong with me. From this place, the day stops being a race and becomes a path, step by step, breath by breath, without needing to prove anything to anyone. The Tao reminds us of something we keep forgetting. When you stop being obsessed with arriving, you move forward more effectively. Not because you push harder, because you stop scattering yourself in 1,000 directions. This habit doesn't make you slow. It makes you whole. And starting the day whole is one of the deepest forms of calm a human being can experience. These aren't techniques. They're not rules, they're not checklists to conquer, they're reminders. Gentle, ancient reminders of a kinder way to inhabit the morning before the noise of the world arrives. The Tao doesn't ask you to transform who you are when you wake up. It doesn't require motivation. It doesn't push you to improve. It simply invites you to stop moving against yourself. If today you begin with a little less hurry, a little less judgment, a little less internal effort, you're already walking in a different direction. Not toward a goal, toward a different relationship with time, with your body, with your mind. Maybe tomorrow you'll remember one of these teachings. Maybe just one, and that's enough. Because this was never about perfection. It was about starting the day just slightly more at peace than yesterday. If this space accompanied you today, stay. This channel exists for exactly that. To come back again and again to what matters most. I'll see you in the next one. With presence. With stillness. With the wisdom of simply being.